Hey guys, I'm Miss Lynn. I'm doing these videos talking about my day and this textbook that I started reading last week. I have a couple of textbooks to read, but I started with this because it's small and apparently it's a little easy to understand. My day today was okay. I'm kind of tired though. I guess my workout from the 2 previous days are weighing on my body now. I was a little bit tired today and even right now, and my thighs are hurting from the workout, but then it's good. I feel so much better. Beside the pain, my body feels something different, more energetic than usual, though I'm tired now, but then it's normal, it's okay. Today I read chapter 3. Yesterday I read chapter 2, so today I read chapter 3, and I'll be talking about chapter 3 now. And I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can, and based on what I read, so my videos will not be too long. I don't like my videos being too long. I want the max 10 minutes, and yesterday was too long. I don't want that today. So I hope you all had a great day like me. I just woke up. I was sleeping for a while, but then I read, and after doing this video, I'm going to go cook. I love cooking, so after doing this video, I'm going to go cook. Chapter 3 subtopic, main topic in chapter 3 is community health program planning. This chapter 3, I'm just going to give an overview of the chapter, then maybe talk on some subtopics within the chapter. Chapter 3 basically talks about community assessment, the different ways to collect data, the different ways to collect data that you use to assess the community health, how to analyze the data, how to and give the community health diagnosis based on the data you collected, and how to use your diagnosis to plan, develop, and manage the community health program. Finally, this chapter gives us the helpful strategies and barriers that influence a community health program. That's just an overview of the chapter. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of these subtopics. Yeah, the role of the community nurse in this chapter is really important in planning and evaluation in collaborative leadership role. Okay. Okay, the desired outcome is to plan, organize, implement, and evaluate interventions program that addresses the specific health need of the community. In this chapter, the community is seen as a client. The whole community is seen as a client. So in the community, they're going to, after carrying out some, and after collecting some data from the community, they're going to use those data to determine what are some of the problems that the community has. So now will not be it's not a specific person in the community, it's the community as a whole joined together as one. Community assessment is a comprehensive approach that emphasizes the community as a client. Okay, that's what I was talking about. And community assessment and diagnosis are the foundations for community-specific program planning. That is really helpful when you want to help the community. what am I going to talk about now? Okay, I'm still talking about community assessment. Oh, I'm going to talk about community assessment now. No, I'm already talking about it, right? Yes. Sorry, guys. So the community health nurse has a key play, the community nurse is a key player in assessing the needs of the community. Some of the roles of the community nurse, they include interacting with the community partners, serving the community at large. Sometimes community meetings, you could go there and talk with the partners who have more information about the whole community, because we're talking about community as a whole, not an individual. Witnessing the interaction between community programs and the responses of the client to the services. Identify future services based upon the visible needs of community members and population groups. Components of community assessment: you have to assess the people, you have to assess places or environment, and you also have to assess the social system. When we talk of people, we talked of the demographic, the distribution, the mobility, density, census data, how many people are in that community, how what is their main mode of transportation, I guess, and how many people are in there, and how is it packed. Is it a community with few, or is it a community full with so many people, and how are the people distributed? You talked of the biological factors, social factors, cultural factors. Cultural factors are sometimes really important to a community. Places or environment, the physical factors, the geography, the terrain, type of community, and so on. Environmental factors. And you also have to talk about the social system. The social system, you have health system, economic system, education system, religious system, political system, recreational system, legal, transportation system, and resources and services. These are all the things that affect the community. And after looking into all this, now you have to collect your data. This data will help you to analyze and give a correct diagnosis to the community's problem, and help you to evaluate and implement and follow up. Okay, data collection. There's 7 ways of collecting this data, and data collection is a critical community health nursing function to best identify the health needs of the local community. It is essential to combine several methods of data collection. Relying only on one is not a good idea, because you will not be able to give a correct analysis based on one method of data collection only. There's 7 methods. So if you could get your data from all 7 methods, it will really be great. And all these methods, they have their strengths and they have their limitations. We have informant interviews, community forums, secondary data, participant observation, windshield survey, focus groups surveys. Like, let's say secondary data, that's one of the methods of collecting data. The description, use of existing data, dirt statistics, birth strategy, census data, mortality, mobility, things like that. You can go to the hospitals, you can go to some clinics in the community, go to maybe the census board, and get data for that community. Some of the strength, the database of prior concern needs of population, ability to trend health issues over time, but then everything has a limitation. Possibility that data may not represent current situation. That's true, because if last year a lot of people were affected with, let me say, diabetes, and now you're carrying your data to help the community this year, it's true you're going to have some of those people from last year, but then this year you don't have so many cases of those infect, I don't know, those with diabetes. So that can affect your data, your ways to help them. This year you have more people contracting, I don't know, the flu virus. So if you use only previous data, that will not help you to that will not assist you to help the community better. So those are some of the ways. Like the windshield surveys, you have so many ways to do that. Actually, windshield survey is descriptive approach that assesses several community components by driving through a community. You drive around and you actually use your eyes to see, to get some things. And when driving around, these are some of the questions or some of the answers you want. You ask that what is on the street, who is on the street, like what are the people you see walking around, what is their general appearance, are they old, are they young, more young people walking around, or are they fat? You always consider the majority, because there will be everybody, but then always go with the majority and try to, I don't know, what are they doing? Are they just playing? Are they working on the street? Are they doing something interesting? Or what is the general, what are people mostly doing in the street from you driving? What you see them doing? How are the different groups, residentially located or subgroups? Is there any evidence of drug abuse, violence, disease, mental illnesses? Oh my video is already 12 minutes already. I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to talk about this book. Like, this is my main purpose of doing these videos. I was not reading for 2 years now. I've been really reluctant to read my book, and a lot has been happening in my life that I cut off from the world, and now I'm trying to get back, and I'm doing these videos because they're helping me. I'm having fun at the same time, and I'm learning, because doing this is something that will help me when I'm able to go to school. I will remember some of the things from this book, and I'm going to learn more, and this will be easy. So I'm sorry if my video is going to be long again. I don't know what to do to make it short. I'm trying to learn. I'm doing it for myself. So I'm sorry if anybody's watching and the video is too long. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to do. You also have to consider some of the places in the community. Now back to the book. The boundaries. Where is the community located? Where are the boundaries? Are there natural boundaries, or these are boundaries put by people, or man-made boundaries? They said. The local and health services. Where are the major health facilities located? What healthcare facilities are necessary for the community but are not within the community? Natural environment. Are there geographic features that may harm the community? Like, is there a mountain that can have a volcano eruption or something like that, or the sea that can overflow one day, or a river, just a common river? If it rains too much, the river can overflow, and that can be a dangerous thing to the community. Are there plants or animals that could harm or threaten the health of the community? Man-made environment. What industries are within the communities? Industries are a great risk to communities. Some products of industries are very dangerous to the human system, especially when it messes with the air, and now you have pollution and all those things. It's not good for the community. Maybe the industries don't dispose their waste correctly, and that can affect people around the community. So these are things that you have to drive around and see how they're collecting. Do you have a lot of trash all around? Things like that. Just when you're driving around, just use your eyes to see a lot of things and to learn how you can help that community. Housing is the housing of acceptable quality. How old are the homes? Sometimes you cannot know really how old are the homes, but then just look, like you can use your eyes to see, oh, this house is too old, or this house, oh, this house looks new and nice, something like that. Are there single or multifamily dwellings? Is the housing in good repair or disrepair? Is there vacant housing? These are some of the questions you ask yourself when you're driving around and looking. Are there social services, clinic, hospitals, dentists, and e.g.? Are there ample schools within the community? Are there parks or areas of recreation? Okay. Public protection, like do you have the police around to protect them, fire department, EMS services, animal control, things like that around the community, because the community needs all those things. After you get all this information, now you have to analyze your data. Analyzing this data will help you to give a better diagnosis of how to help the community and to detect any problem that's within the community. The community health nurse plays an active role in assessment, data interruption, and problem identification. There are 6 steps in identifying this data, and according to this book, the best way is to go through them in order. Like you have 1, gathering collected data into a composite database. All the data that you got from the surveys, windshield survey, secondary data, from all those 7 different methods, you have to gather them and put them in a database. Now that is the first thing you have to do. You have to assess this data completely. Assessing completeness of data, identify and generating missing data. You have to identify some, like this is obvious, it's missing, how can I get it back? Synthesize data and identify them, and identify themes. Oh, okay, sorry. Identifying community need and problems, identifying community strength and resources. Okay, problem analysis is completed for each identified problem. Frequently work groups are formed to examine these individual problems and develop solutions. After assessing your data, you have to now diagnose the community health. What is the health in this community? What are the risks you notice in the community? What are the different problems? So when you identify those the problems in the community, okay, let me just read what I see here. Problems identified by community assessment are often stated as community health diagnosis. Oh, okay. So from your data, whatever you see, whatever you found as problems, you state those as the community health diagnosis. Okay. Community health diagnosis incorporates information from community assessment, general nursing knowledge, and epidemiological concepts. Okay. Community nursing diagnosis often are written in the following format: risks of specific problem, or you have risks in the community, or let me just go with specific problems. Risks of specific problems among the specific population that is affected by the problem, related to strengths and weaknesses in the community that influence the problem. Keyword: risk among, that is the risks among population, related to, this will ask the keywords in that sentence. And now, oh, we're almost there. Okay, good job. Now we have the second to the last part of the book. Actually, I think this part is just summary of all what you should do when it comes to community health program planning, developing, and management. Okay, so you have pre-planning is the brainstorm, gain entry into community and establish trust. I think this is when you go into the community and collect all your data and things like that. Assessment, this is collect data about the community and its members. You collect the data, you assess, you diagnose, identify the priorities, health needs of the community. Now you plan. After diagnosing, you plan on how to help the community, develop interventions to meet identified outcomes. After you've planned, like you determine possible solutions to meet the health need and select the best options, because some might be good but then too expensive for you or too expensive to the community. So you have to always plan something that is best for you as a nurse and best for the community, but then community first, because they are your clients and you're always working for them, so you're always trying to do everything to work for them. After you plan, you have to implement, you carry out the plan, and after carrying out the plan, you have to evaluate, is this plan that I'm using, is it working, is it helping the community? If not, what else can I do? Something like that. And the last part talks about the strategies for and barriers to implement community health programs. Like the helpful strategies, you have to carry out a correct assessment. Like if your assessment is carried out correctly, you really be able to plan and develop and manage your community's health. Accurate interpretation of data, you have to be sensitive to everything and interpret them correctly. Collaborations with community partners, you have to collaborate with the community's partners and those who know a lot in the community. You need sufficient resources. If you have those, then you're good. You need a logical planning and you need skill leadership. Okay, then some of the barriers: inadequate assessment, inadequate or misconstrued data, maybe when you don't understand the data correctly, I guess. I'm just reading this book, trying to learn things. Please, you don't need to just take whatever I say. I am not a teacher. I am not trying to teach. I am learning. This is my way of trying to learn from not reading books or from not doing anything after 2 years. So I'm doing this now, trying to read, and knowing that I have to do a video, it helps me. It gives me the courage to read and to try to understand, because I will have to explain at the same time. And I like that. So I'm sorry if I'm not saying I'm not. And also I have problem with my accent. Like, you guys get that already. And I also need to work on my English. I hope there've been some improvement. I hope. Lack of planning, poor leadership. Whenever I'm able to go to school, I'm going to learn a lot of things. I'm not an internet person. I don't know how to learn much through the internet. So I really have problems. Yeah, after going through chapter 3, I went through the questions and I had 4 on 5. Yay! I'm excited. I hope I'm going to do better again in chapter 4. And whatever time you're watching this video, I wish you the best. Have a great evening, day, night, whatever. And thanks for watching my videos. God bless you all. Bye.